Today we're going to be checking out the Red Rock cold air intake for the 2009 to 2013 4.8 liter Silverado 1500s. If you're looking to improve airflow, increase throttle response, and enhance overall engine efficiency, this cold air intake kit is a great upgrade over your factory's restrictive intake system. This upgraded cold air intake system is designed to maximize your airflow by replacing the restrictive factory air box with a high flow intake tube and this oversized air filter. By delivering cooler, denser air to your engine, this intake helps improve horsepower, torque, and fuel efficiency. The design also enhances throttle response, making acceleration feel smoother and even more responsive. The included high flow air filter is reusable and washable, allowing for long-term performance with some simple maintenance. Unlike restrictive stock intakes, this system improves the airflow without the need for a custom tune, making it a hassle-free way to unlock more power from your Silverado's V8. This system is going to allow for more airflow without the need for a custom tune, making it a hassle-free way to unlock more power from your Silverado. This is going to be built with high-quality aluminum tubing. This tube is super lightweight even though it's very large. This intake is designed for durability and resistance to heat soak. This polished finish not only adds a nice slick underhood appearance, but it also enhances longevity by preventing corrosion. This included heat shield is going to help keep the intake air cooler by blocking the engine bay heat, ensuring optimal performance at all times. Now, as far as pricing goes on this setup, it's coming in right around that $200 price point, making this a very affordable way to get performance benefits with better airflow to your engine. Installation is going to be very straightforward, so we're rating this one a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and you can have this installed in just about 1 hour of your time right there at home. The kit includes all the necessary hardware, connectors, couplers, hose clamps, everything, and since it's a direct bolt-on replacement, no cutting or modification should be required. Now, let's head on out to the shop and they can give you a detailed walkthrough of exactly how this install process goes.
First install, you need a ratchet, 3/8 extension, 13, 10, 8, and T15 socket, and a Phillips head screwdriver. All right, today we're gonna be installing an intake on our Silverado. First, we're gonna watch a quick video how to uninstall a stock system, then we'll come back here to install the new one.
All right, first thing we're gonna do is disconnect our MAP sensor. You have to press down on this little gray locking tab. As you press down on it, just gently pull, set the sensor connection aside. Once you've done that, you need to grab your 8mm socket and loosen up this first band clamp securing the air box to our intake tube. Once you've loosened up that clamp, your primary coolant line over here might be connected to this little tab on the intake tube. It's just a little plastic fitting. You just have to grab something like a trim tool or a small pry tool and just kind of pry that out of there. All right, next we're going to disconnect our crankcase ventilation hose, and it's connected to this little resonator box here. This is also just held in with a kind of rubber grommet and a plastic ring. So just gently pull on it in order to release it. Okay, we're almost ready to remove our intake system. All we need to do now is disconnect this clamp, securing our intake tube to our throttle body with the same 8mm socket. Once you've sufficiently loosened up that clamp, you can see it's kind of wiggling around here. You want to go ahead and grab a hold of the intake tube. I like to grab on this little piece here behind this little resonator as well as right here. Just gently pull back all the way. There's also going to be a plastic grommet on top of this resonator here. There's a little fitting on top of the engine there, on top of the intake manifold. You just also have to make sure you pull that up and out as well when you pull the intake system off. Once you've done that, you want to pull the intake tube away from the air box with that first clamp that we loosened up and pull the intake tube and resonator assembly out as one piece. All right, now all we need to do is remove our factory air box. It's pushed into the inside of the fender here, but there's not actually any hardware holding it in place. There's also a mounting tray directly underneath the air box with some grommets kind of keeping this thing situated. All I need to do is kind of gently pull up and out. You can see ours is extremely loose because we do so many intakes. But just apply gentle pressure in order to unseat those fittings on the bottom and remove the intake box as one piece.
So the only thing we need to do on our old intake is take our mass airflow sensor off. So we're gonna grab our ratchet and T15 socket and take these 2 screws out. And just go ahead and pull that straight out. Set that aside. Now we can get to assembling our new intake. So we're going to start off getting our intake ready on the table. We just have to install our mass airflow sensor onto our tube, and then we just have our heat shield to get ready. First, we're going to grab our mass airflow sensor, Now there is a notch on the bottom of it that will go in this slot here, so it'll only fit one way. Then we're gonna grab our 2 supplied Phillips head screws and get those installed. Now we can get our heat shield ready. Now we do have our gasket that's gonna go in our filter hole here. Just gonna have a middle groove that's just gonna line on the metal. So just fit that into place and work that all the way around. And then we just have our rubber shielding that's gonna go all the way around the heat shield. We're gonna start at this corner here with that mounting tab, and then just continue to work your way around. All right, now this is all ready to go into the truck. We just need to take out our airbox tray and our hose, and then we're ready to install this. We have our hose here that we disconnected from our factory intake. We just need to take that off of our valve cover. Now there is a tab here that you're gonna push over and release so you can pull it straight off. I know it's hard to see, but it's just that tab right there. You're gonna lift and push it up and it'll release it. So we have our airbox mounting tray here. We're actually gonna take this out. So there's 4 10mm bolts going all the way around. We're just gonna grab our ratchet, 10mm socket, take all those out. And we can go ahead and take our tray completely out. So right here, you're gonna see a 13mm bolt. We're also gonna take that out, use as a mounting point for our heat shield. We're gonna grab our ratchet, 13mm socket. So we're gonna grab our heat shield and now drop that in to where our battery tray was, or no, sorry, our airbox tray. Set that down. Now we're gonna reuse 2 of our hardware down there, and then our 13mm bolt we took out up top. So we're gonna reuse 2 of our 10mm bolts that we took out. Just line them up. Grab your ratchet, 10mm socket, tighten those 2 down. We're gonna come up to this bolt that we took out, so we're gonna reinstall our 13mm bolt. Just line up, get that threaded in, and grab a ratchet, 13mm socket, and tighten that down. So we're gonna get our filter assembled now. So we have our filter with our large clamp on it. We're gonna get our velocity stack in, just slides in like that. We'll grab our ratchet, 8mm socket, and tighten this large clamp down. After that, we're gonna grab one of our couplers. All the couplers are the same, so you don't have to worry about mixing them up. It's just gonna slide over our velocity stack. All of our other clamps are the same size too. Go ahead and get that tightened down. Same thing, ratchet, 8mm socket. On the other end, we're also gonna put another clamp. And then our small elbow. You can leave that just kind of loose. We'll just snug it up just so we can get the right angle when we get this in the truck. We're gonna go ahead and slide this through our heat shield, and then we can go ahead and get our next coupler on. So we're gonna get our filter assembly and slide it through our gasket here in our heat shield. Just take your time, just get everything lined up. Can be kind of a pain just to get it started. All right, so that just popped out. You can go ahead and just seat that back into place. All right, now that we have that seated all the way, we can push it back if we need to. We got a lot of room on the back here for our next coupler. So now on the back side, we're just gonna get our second coupler on. Just slide that over. You see this little lip in this inside edge here. Just push that all the way down to the edge of that pipe. And for now, we're just gonna grab 2 of our clamps and just let them rest over. We'll come back and tighten them later. Now we have our intake tube with our mass airflow sensor. You'll see your plastic sleeve. That open slot will go over the mass airflow sensor on the inside, and that will go into our coupler. Now we just have our other coupler for our throttle body. We'll get that just slid over. Go ahead and get our 2 clamps, just let them rest. And we'll get our intake tube into our filter coupler and over our throttle body at the same time. Now, this is why we left this loose, so we can rotate this if we need to. Now we can go back and tighten all of our clamps. We'll come back to our filter. We have our one clamp here that we left loose. Grab our 8mm socket and extension and go ahead and tighten that down. Now we can keep working our way towards our throttle body, tightening all of our clamps down. Next we have our two clamps here. Same thing, ratchet and 8mm socket. And also while we're here, we can plug in our mass airflow sensor. Push it until it clicks and secure your locking tab down. So we have our last two clamps here. Now I just made them snug just so they didn't move, but we can go ahead and tighten them down. Same thing, 8mm socket. So we just have our hose left to install. Now it's gonna go where we took our factory hose off. So just go ahead and push that on. And then the other end is gonna go into our intake, to our tube on the inside here. Just like that. Lastly, we just have to install our engine cover. So we have our two mounting points here and here. That'll go in these two studs. Just gonna slide it over, line them up and push them down. And that wraps up our install of our RedRock cold air intake for a 2009 to 13 4.8 liter Silverado 1500. And remember, for everything Silverado, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.